Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Searching. So Searching stars John Cho, who is famously known for being in Star Trek, and it follows the story of him. He's a dad who has a daughter, and the mother in the family has passed away, so it's just him and his daughter. And one day his daughter goes missing. She doesn't respond to his text messages for a whole day, and he, talks to the school and sees that she was missing from attendance, and he just looks into everything. And soon enough, he discovers that his daughter's missing. There's a detective hired onto the case to try to figure it out. And the movie from there just becomes insane as it's a mad rush for him trying to find where his daughter is, if she's alive, and what is happening with the whole situation in his life. Searching was a movie I was excited for from when I first heard about it. It premiered at Sundance, and I believe it got the fan vote for the best film. And that's completely understandable because the movie is crazy. It's a crazily done film. Movies like Unfriended have also taken place on a computer monitor, but what Searching did with its computer monitor was that it didn't just have a Skype call and people sitting in other rooms. It used the computer really, really well, and apparently they had up to 33 video beds on top of each other, at a time while editing the movie, which is absolutely insane. And every time they tried to edit it, the computer would crash, and it just sounds like an absolutely insane film to make. I read an article with an interview with the director, and he said that it's the most insane thing that he's ever done. It took 2 years to make, and after 24 hours of its Sundance premiere, it was picked up by Sony, and now it got distributed across America, which is amazing because this movie is great. I was excited from the trailer. It looked extremely suspenseful, and all the rave reviews, and they are rightfully earned. This is a really entertaining and really well done film. The thing with most thrillers like this, really good thrillers, is that from the moment the movie starts, there seems to be something wrong. And that's not really what this movie does. And in most situations that doesn't work, but in this one it did. It actually started with character development, which I did not expect, and it was all told from the perspective of the computer. It was just clicking on different videos and different dates and that kind of stuff. And from that, you got a lot of development into the story, and you gained some sympathy for the characters in 5 minutes. Which is always really impressive when movies can do that. But from there, the movie didn't start eerie. It didn't start like something bad was going to happen. It just started like a normal movie with normal things happening, and then the movie starts to feel a bit uncomfortable, and then almost immediately it just turns entirely uncomfortable, and there's something wrong, and there's a lot going wrong in the movie. And the amount of twists and turns in this movie, for a first-time director, usually, when they have this many twists and turns in a movie, it's really weak, and it just falls flat on its face because they're trying too hard to be crazy with having all these twists and turns, and it doesn't really service the story. But this is a rare case of a movie where it does service the story. And every single time a twist happens, it's shocking. And the thing is, 90% of the twists don't actually lead anywhere, which was also cool because that's realistic to a detective case. When you get a lead, that doesn't always mean that it goes somewhere, and there can always be something else behind it. It was cinematic enough to be entertaining, but also realistic enough so that you were in awe at just how well crafted it was. One of the biggest confusing points to me for the entire movie was why it was set on a computer. A movie like Unfriended, which is the only other movie I can think of that took place entirely on a laptop, that's understandable because that movie is completely centered around a Skype call and it's kids online, and that's basically the whole gimmick of the movie. This movie, at first I was really confused on why it was taking place on a computer monitor and what the point of that was, but I slowly realized what the meaning behind it was, which was that in our modern day and age, we use the internet to discover things. We use the internet to find people and save people in ways that we were never able to before. And that's not a spoiler on if she is saved or if she is not. I'm not saying anything on that. I'm just saying that people in the modern times use technology to try to solve detective cases. And I thought that that was cool. My biggest issue with that was that it did not relate all that much to the plot of the movie. They could have made that more of a central point or more correlated with the theme, but it didn't really do that. And in a few situations, they did have to stretch to try to make it so that it made sense why it was on a computer screen in a few instances, but for the most part, it did work out, and I really, really liked the way that it was stylistically like that, and of course that makes it so that it's not a forgettable movie. People will remember this movie because they will remember that it was on a computer screen. Searching's biggest problem is, I think, something that a lot of first-time directors deal with when they're not trying to make a pretentious masterpiece. When they're trying to make a movie that appeals to a lot of people, they can get cheesy. And there are certain sequences, like the first character development sequence in this movie, it's a bit cheesy. But beyond that, this movie is amazing for a directorial debut. This year has had a lot of great directorial debuts. There's been Blindspotting, there's been 8th Grade, there's definitely been more that I'm not thinking of, but Searching joins that league of really great first-time directors that make really great first films. And I'm just amazed at the technical talent and just the audacity that he had to make a movie completely on a computer screen that was as complex and unnerving, and also the way that he set up clues was really mature, and the way that he discovered the clues was also really, really well done. This is a movie I would definitely recommend you go out and see. Even if you're not a big fan of thrillers, I think that this movie has just enough appeal to anybody really, any film fan, anybody that enjoys watching films will most likely enjoy this movie. I will give Searching a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Searching. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what is your favorite web-based film? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.